is Roundup? Roundup is a herbicide produced by the company Monsanto, which has recently been bought by Bayer, which is now its parent company. The active ingredient in Roundup is glyphosate, or N-phosphomethylglycine. This here is the chemical composition of glyphosate, and this down here is its chemical formula. So how does it hurt humans? It interrupts the metabolism of bacteria in the GI tract, which is a lot of the reason that it's largely found in the gut. They don't know the exact mechanism of action that causes the oncogenes to be turned on, which oncogenes are cancer genes, though they found it through a common denominator, kind of like asking people what they used if they were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And direct quote from Dr. Tara Tabatabai, who is an attorney scientist, is that it alters the DNA in normal cells. Okay, what is non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, or NHL, as I will be referring to it for the most part throughout this video? NHL is cancer of the lymphatic system. It is a form of blood cancer, considering it is a form of lymphoma. It affects the lymphocytes, which are the cells of the lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system is synonymous to the immune system. Lymphocytes come from basal cells called stem cells in bone marrow, and lymphocytes specifically are white blood cells. The main types of lymphocytes are B cells, which produce antibodies to fight bacteria, viruses, and other foreign substances, T cells, which fight infection, destroy abnormal cells, and control immune responses, and natural killers, which are pretty self-explanatory, but if you do need an explanation, they attack abnormal and foreign cells. Lymphomas are tumors basically caused by abnormal growth pattern in behavior in lymphocytes, which is a lot of what people refer to the tumors as. They refer to them as lymphomas. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma can appear anywhere in your body, but you will typically find it in the neck, forearms, abdomen, or groin area. It can spread all over through the blood and the lymphatic system, and there are 30 plus types of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Most of the time it is found in B cells, and one of the kinds that's just most well known is diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. And it is classified as either aggressive, which I think you can pretty much understand what aggressive means, but if you don't, it basically means the cells act more abnormally and it is just more fast spreading and severe, or indolent, which I think you can understand that, but if you don't, it means they act a little bit more like normal cells and it doesn't go as quickly. Okay, so next we're going to find out who discovered the link between non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and Roundup. So truthfully, the first people to find the link were actually Monsanto themselves. However, you'll find out more details about this later. They covered it up and buried the evidence. But the way that it was given to the public was the IARC, or the International Agency for Research on Cancer, found it based upon rat studies.
Dwayne Lee Johnson was the first man to successfully take Monsanto to court. He was a school groundskeeper. The trial started on July 9th, 2018. Monsanto was convicted to pay Johnson $289 million in total, $39 million of it being compensatory, while another $250 million were punitive damages. Monsanto filed for appeal but were rejected. 6 months later, Edwin Hardiman was the second person to successfully take Monsanto to trial and actually made it to federal court with the case. There were internal emails within the Monsanto Corporation that suggested that Roundup was actually dangerous and they knew about it. And they were ordered to pay Hardiman $80 million.
Alberto and Alva Pillion were the third people to successfully take Monsanto to trial. Monsanto was ordered to pay Pillions $2 billion in total after more buried evidence was found regarding glyphosate specifically. Monsanto, owned by Bayer, plans to appeal.
Okay, now we're going to talk about the conflicting evidence for glyphosate being carcinogenic or not, and basically part of why Monsanto was found guilty of malice and oppression. So Monsanto actually never conducted any epidemiology studies on glyphosate cancer risks. They actually just paid off professors with their names on fake studies that they ghost wrote that Roundup was safe. They also paid people off to write fake articles and post them online saying Roundup was safe. They warned workers even to wear protective gear, but for some reason couldn't be bothered to warn the public. They were aware that surfactants in Roundup could be more toxic than glyphosate alone, and also there were found in internal emails and internal memos that there were prior studies, like years and years ago, when Roundup was like really new, saying that glyphosate could be dangerous. But once Monsanto saw this, they said to destroy the studies, research was halted, and nobody was to speak about it. Currently, there are 11,000 plus plaintiffs that have cases pending against Monsanto. RoundUp brings in about $15,001 million annually. There's a lot of reasons why it's really hard to bring cases like this to court. One of them being Monsanto is a huge corporation, so a lot of their information is very secretive and is very protected. Also, they require population studies, which have only recently been started in the last 15 to 20 years, and a good population study requires it to be about 50 years and requires you to find somebody who is willing to know, okay, I could get cancer from this, but still I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna let, science study me. And I don't think I could ever ask anybody to do that, and I don't think I could ever do that, so I can't see another person.
California is currently the only state where any of the trials have been held, and this is due to the fact that California is also the only state where glyphosate is recognized as a known carcinogen. Some reasons for this are that California is a big agricultural state. They're also one of the most progressive places in the world nowadays, probably. And also that I hear that they don't like it because it's a weed killer. On August 29th, 2019 will be the Gordon case. On September 9th, 2019, there were 4 plaintiffs. On October 15th, 2019, 15 plaintiffs will be suing them, Winston being the lead case. In October 28th, 2019, Shazier is the only case that will be running. And in January 21st, 2020, day before my birthday, 10 plaintiffs, Wade is the lead case.